Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. My name is ShockWavee, and today we're going to be figuring out how to find the right sensitivity for both your motion and your stick controls. Now, this has been requested by a couple people, so I thought, hey, why not make it? I've kind of brought it up briefly in other videos. I know a couple of other YouTubers have kind of touched on it, but I want to try and go in a little bit more in depth into this topic, as especially for new people trying to learn this game. They struggle to find the right motion to be able to aim effectively and the right stick to combine with that. So we're going to be diving into that today. I just want to quickly say thank you all for 500 subscribers that we hit recently. I really appreciate all the support. I've kind of been a bit all over the place. Sometimes I upload one of these videos a week, sometimes it's like 3 or 4. So sorry about that. I'm going to try and get more consistent with these kind of uploads rather than just highlight videos. But yeah, thank you again for all the support, really much appreciated. And of course, as always, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoy the video. If you found this helpful, go check out my Twitter. I stream on Twitch, got a Discord server, all that. Make sure to go check all of that out. Alright, yeah, so we're just gonna go straight into this. So we're gonna first touch on motion, since stick control is a bit easy to work out what you should be using. But for motion, like I do with every time I bring up tips video or whatever, to figure out your motion, to start off by trying to find a comfortable 90-degree flick. I accidentally was just messing around with sensitivities and don't have mine, so this is mine. I use motion at 2.0 and stick at 5. So you just want to flick, 90-degree flick, just keep adjusting until you feel comfortable with a quick 90-degree flick. With the shooter, you can do this with any weapon you want, a blaster, does not matter as long as you feel comfortable. Make sure you're in line with the dummy in front, that's all the way at the back, and a big 90-degree flick. Just like so. Make sure you're standing on the line. Line up next to him. Nice flick. Just like that. This is just your basic to get a rough estimate of where you should be at. Again, this is mainly for frontline and midline weapons. If you're playing a backline, try not to use this as a reference, because when you're playing backline, you're going to be doing a lot more little movements rather than big 90-degree flicks and stuff like that. So I'll dive into that a little bit later. I'll leave a timestamp or something on the screen or in the description, so you guys know for backliners, charges and splatlings, to figure that out. But yeah, this is going to be a good starting point to get some 90-degree flicks in for frontline, midline support, whatever you play, anything that's kind of close range. Since you do need good aim, but just more big adjustments rather than small adjustments from frontline, midline, and support players. Alright, the next thing you want to do after your 90-degree flicks is practice your upward flicks. Once you feel comfortable with your 90-degree flicks, you want to start doing some upward flicks. If you're consistently under aiming or over aiming, you might want to adjust it around a little bit, because of course this is all going to be practice for getting used to whatever motion you're picking. So nothing's going to feel right straight away. You're going to be inconsistent, and that's alright. All this is used for is this training, getting some muscle memory to pick the right motion for you. You've really just got to be disciplined before you play games, after you play games. Come in here, make sure you get your motion down pat. Flicks up, flicks 90-degree. You can kind of alternate like what I'm doing here. These are all just good practices when you're doing that. Alright, and now to kind of make sure that this is a good motion sense, is what you want to do is get out a scoped charger. Doesn't matter what one, just choose this one, and then make sure you got a nice steady aim. It's okay if you shake around a little bit. You don't want to be going like that. Just nice. Stay calm, keep it steady. Just like that, to allow it to shake around a little bit. Especially if you're a frontline or midline player. It's fine for it to be shaking around. For backline players, you really want to keep this as stable as possible. That's a little bit better. And same with this, you can just practice your upward flicks. Just like so. Just like that. Alright, now for backliners specifically, charges and splatlings, you're going to be doing a lot of small movement, small adjustment aiming rather than big flicks all the time. Of course, you might occasionally do 1 or 2 big flicks in a game, but most of the time you're going to be kind of looking in their general direction. So just say you're right side peeking, you're going to be kind of already aiming in their general direction. And then you're just going to be doing a small flick. Like that. So what we want to practice here is kind of moving, setting up next to it, and then doing a little quick flick. Getting used to that muscle memory. If you're over extending on it, then you just need to reduce it down. That kind of underflicked again. And again, it's all about your timing of when you get to release your button as well. And I'll do it for splatlings just so those that play it can see what I mean. Pretty much the same thing. I'll do ballpoint because a lot of accuracy needed. So when you're here, you mainly like see I'm looking at this top right one. You kind of already have your aim in their general direction. You kind of just pop out. Just little small adjustments that you need. That's all you really need to practice on for this one. And of course, for backliners, it's really important that you do tracking as well, leading shots. Since you're going to be shooting people from really far away, you get used to aiming in front of your opponents. Not as important for frontline and midline weapons because you have shorter range. But here, just trying to aim in front. Leading shots like that. And it's same with charges, you kind of have to aim a little bit in front when that back dummy is moving around. For sensitivities, if you're solely playing backline, so just say you're one-tricking charger pretty much the whole time, you want to have the sensitivity that's around. It has to at least be below 0, I would say. So it can be somewhere around here, like 0.5. I would say 0.5 or less. That is going to be your range of sensitivity. So just say you want it minus 2.5 here. Let me quickly go to a charger. This makes it easier so you can do your small adjustments better. It's just a more fluent shot, and see, look how steady your aim is on a target, and then just quick snap right there. And that's same with your tracking, so it's like nice and smooth, just ahead, like that. Bit too far, like that. And for front lines, you want to have your sensitivity above 0, I would recommend. Anything from like 1 to 5 feels like really similar, I find. So I have it at 2. And if I just go onto any front line, I'd shooter or something, do a longer range one. Just do a pro. If I was to switch up and go to like 5 for my motion, it feels pretty similar. Like I'm able to flick most of the time onto my dummy pretty easily. It's just small minor details when you're doing like little flicks. Like if you're moving like here, like this, I'm only doing small movements with my hands, and look how much it moves. And if I do the same amount of movement on, just say 1, like it's a bit less, not even that much. It's more when you're doing, yeah, even this feels fine. Like I don't feel like I'm restricted. It feels really similar. Just like that. So hopefully that'll help you trying to find the right motion. Of course, with anything, if you have any specific questions about a weapon you play and if it should be at this certain motion, just let me know. Give me a comment down below or DM me on Discord, Twitter, whatever it might be, if you have anything specific about yourself. But yeah, we're going to move on to how to find your stick sensitivity. Alright, so your stick sensitivity is going to be based on how much you look around in the game versus how much you use your stick to aim. So if you use your stick to aim a decent amount, since you're new to the game and you're not really fond of using motion to look everywhere, then you want to have this low. You want to have your sensitivity low if you're using it to aim. Because if you're using it to aim, you don't want to have to be shooting like this and like flicking onto them and then, oh, my aim's all the way up here. Flicking, oh, my aim's all the way over there. I've got to readjust. Oh, all the way over there. So you want to have it nice and low. Just say -3. So if I want to try and get to that guard on the right, I can just do a quick flick. There. There. That. Just like that. So that's going to be for you. You've kind of got to go into a couple of games, mess around with that a little bit, see how much you actually use the stick. Because when you just think about it, it's like, oh, I don't use the stick that much, but you just do it off instinct sometimes if you use the stick. So you don't actually know until you get in the game and you reduce or increase your sensitivity. So it's going to be for that again. The next one will be if you just use it to look around like what I do and you use your motion for pretty much everything else. You can chuck it as high as you want. Because anytime I use motion, it's just like I'm in ink, I'm looking around, and then I use my motion to do like big flicks and stuff. And to pretty much use it for everything else. So jumping, I have not touched my stick once in this situation. I just flicked it then to look over here. But 9 times out of 10 I'm using my motion. So I'll just do this whole thing without using my stick. The only time I'll use it if I'm doing like a full 180 and I'll do a quick, just to help me look over, so it feels like I'm doing a 90-degree flick, and then my motion helps me get the rest of the way there. So it's like bang, and then flick and look at the same time. So there, combined with the stick, I like look to 90 degrees, and then I use my 90-degree flick, if that makes sense. So say I'm going for the dummy behind me, start shooting, flick, 90 degrees, and then flick again. So I don't get my whole arms like crossed over and stuff. That's the only time I use it to aim. Not for this little adjustment stuff, because I will not be able to hit these guys at all. I just use my stick to aim with +5 stick. That's the only thing you really need to know for your stick sensitivity. Is if you're using it to aim versus if you're just using it to like look around the map. It's like, oh, okay, there's one cone there, there's one cone there, another one down there. There's a couple dummies over here. There's a wall there. Kind of thing. That's the only time. Again, just, I guess, increase it over time depending on how much you use it to aim versus how much you want to use it to look around. Some people kind of get out of the habit of using their stick to kind of like aim onto and lock onto a target. Because what you get people to do at lower levels is since they're used to using the stick, is you get them to look in the general direction with their stick. So you go bang, and then you use their motion to do little movements. There, little movements. There, little movements to like just readjust. Over there. But then again, you can't use the stick to look up. Like I'm pushing it to go up, and you can't. So you actually have to use the motion and look up or look down. So that's why I normally don't get them to do that, because then they want to try and look up as well, but you have to use your motion. But even just if you're doing a full 180, that's fine. Just like that. So yeah, I hope this helps you find your right motion. Again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Feel free to DM me on Discord, Twitter, anything like that. I stream on Twitch every couple days, so make sure to go check that out as well. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. All this support is appreciated. But yeah, have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.